Silent Strata stream, and we're coming to you live. We're talking some more AC Valhalla, talking about some of the disappointments here.
Yeah, to the point where I put 100+ hours in and have just flat out stopped playing.
Yeah, I think a lot of interest has dropped off and everything. A lot of people are, putting it down. Like if you look at my comments and stuff, you see a lot of people are just putting it down. A lot of people are just not interested in it. They don't want to get in there. What's happening, Rigsaw? I think that it's a case where, partially, I kind of feel like people are kind of like over it, especially with the glitches. Like, I mean, if you look at a bunch of my videos, a lot of people are just like, this is unplayable. Like I'm doing something else until the new patches and everything.
Yeah.
And, like people are not even caring about the fact that, they're going to miss out on like whatever glitches and everything. You cannot play the game, you know? So people are just, they're getting ticked off about that. And as well they should.
Well, for me, like I said, I'm doing a mission at the moment. Well, I'm meant to be doing a mission at the moment. This is part of the reason why I put the controller down. The blacksmith's gone off to find a wife. I go to where the marker is to show where he is, and he's not there.
That's crazy.
So I'm stuck now. I went back to my save because I'm like yourself. I do multiple saves just in case. Like if an outcome goes the way I don't like, I'm one of these people. I prefer the better outcome, so I go back to that save and I'll quickly replay through that section again to sort it.
What's happening, Riley? What's happening, Kyle?
This guy's just not there, man. It doesn't matter how many times I reload. I don't know. I don't know if it's a marker problem on the map, maybe where the marker is over the map wrong. Because I know he's meant to be in that city, but he's not in that city.
One of the things that like I really don't like is that like this Raven really is not helpful. Like you go to look for the area where the Raven is or where the character is, you get like the general direction, it disappears. You have to like keep making use of the Raven to like get in that direction. Then when you're in that zone, you just have to make use of the Odin sense to like get in there. What's happening, Muttley?
Yeah, the Raven really is useless. And here's the thing though, Ubisoft is so bold as to sell skins for this eagle. And people will buy the skins for this eagle for an eagle that literally does jack all compared to what it did in Odyssey. In Odyssey, the eagle was helpful.
The Raven is the ship parts of Retta's shop, is what it is.
Yeah. Or the trees, or the... or whatever else they want to sell you. I mean, Jesus, if you want a tree that's got ice on it and you want to blow a couple of quid, then, like, you fire ahead. Like, I'm sorry, Ubisoft's getting no money off of me. Their shop this time around is more egregious than the shop was in Odyssey as far as I'm concerned.
This shop is hardcore, and, like, I do like some of the items, and I will be purchasing, like, some of the items through Retta, that is. But even even the opal,
gameplay,
even the opal is hard.
Well, see, I didn't like with Odyssey. I did the 2 times like the double XP booster, the Drachme booster, the all the maps thing. And
what's happening, Madeline?
I looked at this game and I just didn't bother because I knew for a fact when it came to that opal, there was going to be hundreds of them all over the goddamn map.
What do you have today?
Like
I figured that, but at the same time there isn't. Look at this. I'm looking at the daily selection is a tree.
Wait, you see, it's a bloody ice tree.
Where is that tree even?
Have you got a contract?
I'm assuming it's a Norse mythology tree, like it's ice. So is it a frost giant tree or like I just don't know, man. It's a tree with ice on it. And
yeah, but where in your settlement is that tree? Where are you putting it?
Right in the middle. You're replacing the tree in the middle of your settlement. You've got that big bushy tree.
I must take my
that's right in the middle, right above Redder, on a little hill.
Oh, okay, this big sucker right here.
Yeah.
Wait, so this is what they... How do you change the tree?
There should be a little mark, right? So if you go... See where the tree is there? There should be a little dragon right there. So if you select that dragon tablet there, you can change your tree, and literally all it does is it's a cosmetic. Yeah, that would be the one right there, yeah.
Yeah, it says it won't let me... Oh, because it's already that. So there's the Hangsman tree now that I just put up.
Well, you've got a lot less trees than I've got. I've got at least 8 or 9 of them.
Really? I never even bothered with the tree. I never even bothered with the tree.
But yeah, I mean, they're literally going, do us a favour, give us £5. We'll give you a tree. A digital one with ice on it.
Hell no, I'll go buy a real tree with ice on it if I'm going to pay that.
Bugger that, I'll just buy a sticker. It's cheaper. I'll just get a sticker of a tree. I'll give it to my 3-year-old man. She'll stick it on my t-shirt and I'll feel great for the rest of the day because my kid thinks I'm an ace.
What's happening, Iceman?
But, like, the store in this game is ridiculous, man. Like, there's no options when it comes to transmog. There's next to no options when it comes to armor. The rune system is absolutely crap, because if you play it on normal, literally your runes make no difference. You can still trash the way through in just their basic underwear if you want to. Like, I don't get what this game was trying to be. I get it was trying to be, like, Origins 2.0. But it
didn't work out. Iceman, I've got a silent merc. We together we did. Oh my god! I just got a core challenge complete. What was the core challenge?
The standing in the loading screen.
I guess so. I don't know. Like I
don't understand Ubisoft Connect myself. I get core challenge complete, but it doesn't tell you what the challenge was. It doesn't like tell me.
Let me see if I could look at it. Let me see if I can look at it. Maybe it'll explain to me what I did. Oh, right now it's not even. It's saying only microphone audio is being broadcast because it's hiding what's going on right now from everyone. Right. Really? That's a good thing. Oh, because I customized my tree. It took like 2 minutes to like put it in there. That's what it was. Man, I don't have many challenges to like complete. How do you avenge the death of 10 players? What's happening, Headshot? What's happening, Nick? Right.
That's not in this game.
Yeah, so I don't understand what they're asking me to do then.
So could that be a season thing where they're like, well, we're gonna, here's a new season, everybody. Here's some shit you already had.
Right? Here's something we've already done before, but we're gonna do it again just for you.
Like, I don't want to hate on Assassin's Creed. Like, I don't.
My wolf was standing on his back paws. Wait, I don't know. I got a glitch video coming out for everybody though. I actually have the ship is on ground. Like, we're doing a mission and the long ship is literally on land. Like where it shouldn't be.
I had that. I was riding on my wolf, just cruising along the road, and there was 2 long ships, one directly across the road and one hovering above the road.
And then there was one, I guess they needed the same attention from that like Cyberpunk is getting, where it looks potatoed on a PS4 and Xbox One. So they made
that game, man, looks so bloody.
You old friend.
It is a good game, I'm not gonna lie, but you know what's like psychotic is, yeah, I mean, I can't live stream it. Like all the glitches and everything that they've got, I definitely can't live stream, because like what would happen in that case is that the nudity part would come out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've live streamed here and like you've seen like a boob come out. But it's real quick. This, like, it's on your character, and it's just the junk hanging out. Headshot, we were just discussing that.
Yeah, we were. I would say Odyssey is a better game. I wouldn't say it had the better story, but I would say Valhalla, for me, after 100 hours and about 65% through the game, just got boring. I never had that with Odyssey. I still, like, I went all the way through Odyssey, played it through 4 different times, did 600 hours, never got bored with it. I got bored after 100 hours with Valhalla. I've put it down. I actually spoiled it for myself. I went and watched the endings on YouTube because I couldn't be arsed putting the rest of the hours in, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I kind of do feel like it got boring at a point.
That's the hard truth. And again, that's my opinion. You might absolutely love the game. I watched a YouTube video there earlier on where Valhalla was number 4 out in his top 5 games. He put Valhalla as number 4, Assassin's Creed 2 as number 3. I completely disagree with him. You can't. I don't even think Valhalla's in my top 4 right now. I'll be honest with you, I don't think Valhalla's in my top 8. I think Valhalla's probably... See, this is the thing. Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, 4, Black Flag, into Rogue, into Unity, Syndicate, they all followed a formula, and we all got bored of that formula really, really quickly. After Assassin's Creed 3, it wasn't just the formula, it was the story. The story went downhill after 3. It was almost as if, like I said to you, Assassin's Creed feels like it died with Desmond.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've enjoyed an Assassin's Creed game as much as when I was back in those days. I did enjoy Origins though. I liked what it brought to the table. And then Odyssey came out, threw all this extra stuff on the table, was a fantastic RPG, had all these systems, transmog, had your masteries, like you could go nuts for your masteries. And then Valhalla comes out and goes, hey, Origins 1.5.
Yeah, that's actually a fair assessment.
I honestly... And I live in Scotland, so I see this scenery all the time, and to me, this feels lifeless compared to what Odyssey felt like.
Really, Headshot? See, Headshot says that he feels that after 40 hours that the level, the missions and everything, that they're repetitive. Which, you know what, to be fair, some of them are. They
can be. I mean, Odyssey does have a lot of that original Assassin's Creed problem where it's run here, collect this, go here, kiss him, kiss that, do this, and don't turn yourself into something you're not.
Right?
It's a weird one. I think we're at the point when it comes to Assassin's Creed where there is now genuinely a massive divide in the community.
I think so.
There's a huge divide. You've got the original fans who are absolutely craving to go back to that original formula. I certainly would be interested to see what Assassin's Creed, 2 Brotherhood and Revelations remake would look like in a massive open world as one big story where you get to play through it in one game. I'd be interested to see how that works because obviously Ezio would be growing as a character as you went along. He'd be aging as you went along. Your skill tree would also have to adapt to that because it's not taking into account just one game. It has to take into account what Ezio learned over 3. So as a representation of that, could you earn the Hook Blade before Revelations if they did an open world remake of this? Would it be smart to have the Hook Blade available, like, straight away to the player? There's lots of things I think would have to be discussed over a game like that.
See, I think that would make a lot of sense, and like I was telling you earlier, not to spoil it for anybody else, we're not, but the ending kind of seems like it's leading to a hard reboot of the series.
A hard reboot of the entire franchise, yeah.
So if we go to back to, like, let's say Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, right? I'll start with 2 because I think that would be the easier to kind of like throw out there. If we got an Assassin's Creed 2 kind of like a reboot, I could see them, you have a certain amount of your skill tree open, when you would get to like the Brotherhood section, another section opens up. And then when you would get to like the Revelation section, another, but it would go in the course of like missions would be measured as time. Like they wouldn't
I'm going to address Headshot here. He's just saying he doesn't think he even heard the word assassin in Odyssey. He's like that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's also not an Assassin's Creed for me, which is fair. I can see where you're coming from, but at the same time, I would like you to explain the present day. I would also like you to explain the Isu, and I would also like you to explain Darius.
Yeah, that was like a lot of questions we had.
Just to throw an argument at Headshot, he says it wasn't an Assassin's Creed game to him, but yet the whole game oozed Assassin's Creed, except the main storyline, because that was saving her family storyline. Everything else was very much Assassin's Creed.
Well,
that was a disregard with this game is the fact that the combat and everything was so different.
See, that's another thing I wanted to address too, where it's like Ubisoft took one of your ideas because you were very big on, you know, like Darius, like how is Darius doing this leap of faith when, you know, Bayek supposedly his father taught him that and everything like that, you know, which made a lot of sense. And then here we go with Valhalla, and you're not eagle diving. Your first jump isn't even a swan dive, one of those eagle dives.
It's a bomb dive.
Yeah, that's all you're doing. You're cannonballing, and then you learn it after you deal with the assassins, after you deal with Hatham, which I thought was brilliant. I was like, oh, look at them taking my man's freaking ideas.
And that was me, and that was what I saw when I did that first viewpoint, and you cannonball, and then you have that initial mission where he's like, that, you know, we're going to go up to this point, and I want you to close your eyes, and I want you just to, you know, it's a faith, it's a leap of faith. It was taught to us by our oldest mentor and all that stuff. That to me was just bloody brilliant. That
made sense.
And then you meet, and then you come across Redda. God bless his little heart. You know, he's still 12 years old after a couple of thousand years. You know, and he's giving you stories of Bayek and Aya while you're buying shit from him.
Yup.
So if you want backstory from Assassin's Creed, you have to go to the cash shop.
Really?
No, not the cash shop. But the
I was gonna say.
So if you had never played Origins, and you wanted to know a little something about the founding of the Order, you have to go to the shop.
Well, there's that, and then there's also what do you call it? He does have a point where he actually tells the kids a story. He tells them the story about Bayek and Aya, but he doesn't name them. And then there's the backstory where if you actually read all the notes that you find in all of the bureaus, look at this. I gotta be anonymous. I'm running my ass off. I'm still not anonymous.
Listen, the stuff you read in the bureau is quite interesting, but the fact that Ubisoft feels like they need to change terms of words is a little bit. So here's the thing I want to ask. You know how Ubisoft changed the whole? He was like the burnt thing.
Yeah.
I wonder how the Mass Effect trilogy remaster is going to handle Shepard turning around and saying, "Don't worry about Joker, I'll get his crippled ass" at the beginning of Mass Effect 2.
Oh, you know they're going to be up in arms over that. They're going to be up in arms over that.
I wonder, and I say this, if anybody out there likes Mass Effect 2, I want you to look out for that, because we live in such a socially correct world now, where I guarantee you that would be taken offensive, so I guarantee you, almost guarantee you, I think that will be taken out of Mass Effect 2.
It probably will. He probably won't even be crippled. He won't nothing. It'll be...
No, he'll still be crippled. He'll still be crippled. But I guarantee you the whole "don't worry about Joker, I'll get his crippled ass," I guarantee you that will be taken out.
No,
that wording will be changed.
They'll take it a step further and he won't be crippled. I'm telling you. That's what they're going to do. That's the society we're living in right now.
Yeah, but that breaks continuity between the first game and the second game. You know, and then obviously by the third game he's walking anyway. Because he's got the new enhancements or whatever it is. Because remember, he's pansexual. He jump into bed with Eden, you know, the bloody Normandy's artificial intelligence. So he's no better than fucking
Yeah, I could
What's
do that
guy's
guide
name?
for you.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We live in such a weird world. We do. Where, you know, they change phrases because it's offensive to 1% of an audience. If it's even 1%.
No, it wasn't even 1%. It was one person that was upset that they said that you're disfigured.
Right,
Headshot
yeah.
right now, you should not get Valhalla. Right now, you should wait until these bugs are fixed. That was another thing. They sent out a hotfix, and they claim that people... Look, I'm on the other side of the map, and I'm still not anonymous. You believe this? Look how broken this is.
There you go. I think that's you. See, because you went into the hay. Nope. Maybe not.
I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. But they even sent out a hotfix that was supposed to fix all of the save and the teleportation problems. Nobody can still do that stuff. And now I'm getting this.
They're fixing the fun parts of the game.
Yeah,
where you can get your points and your unlimited money, and you can enjoy. They're basically taking the enjoyment away.
That's what they're doing.
The game's a buggy mess. Fix your bugs first. Let the player who bought the game, like for me, 92 bloody quid for the ultimate with everything. And I don't know if I'm even interested in playing the bloody DLC, because I've got a strange feeling that DLC is going to be broken as hell when it comes out.
That's what's like killing me. Like, what is going on here? So this hotfix, the save points, because people weren't able to save, and then the teleport, because people aren't able to teleport anymore, fast travel, it still not fixed. That's what it was supposed to fix. Not even the patch. And now here I am, running with a dude, and I'm supposed to remain anonymous, and I'm like 3 miles, 20 miles. Look at this. I was all the way up here when I got this guy. I was all the way up here. Look, I was all the way up here when I got this guy. And now I'm all the way down here.
Look, that's easily 40, 50 miles.
Yeah, like, what the hell, man?
When you look at the map of England realistically, you just ran 50 mile, mate, and you're still...
And I'm still not anonymous. Look, I must be anonymous.
Listen, this guy must be Superman. He must be flying above you, looking down upon you. Either that, or he's got his own raven that's more fucking help to him than it is to you.
I guess so.
Be my eyes.
Why am I not anonymous? There is literally nothing around here. Look at this.
And because of that, you can't finish what you need to do.
Exactly. I can't get my stupid 5 opal. How am I not anonymous? These guys see me all the way over here?
See, it makes you wonder if these big companies just went, you know what? These games aren't finished. We've been working on them for years. We've managed to get 3 months work done, you know, during this whole COVID pandemic that we would, you know, normally have a year and a half's work of, work done. We need to release them. People are sitting at home bored anyway. We're going to make the money and we'll just fix them as we go.
I don't know, but you know what? From Bethesda with their broken DLC, which again we're almost 2-3 months into it, and there are people that still cannot play the DLC.
Yeah,
they are still getting crap.
Broken?
Yeah, they're still getting crap that from Bethesda and all of them that like, oh well, we're gonna need to see your key. We're gonna need to see this. It's absolutely insane. And then there was that. Now there's Valhalla being broken as hell. And then, oh my god, he killed him. Maybe I'll pick him up now and he'll be fine. There's Valhalla being broken. And then Cyberpunk being released broken.
Yep.
You know?
Destiny's broken. Destiny 2's broken, mate. They can't do Trials of Osiris or anything at the moment because there's that much broken in the game. It's just unplayable when it comes to multiplayer.
I can't.
Trials has been cancelled till the the 18th or something. I think I might be a week long on that, but yeah, like everything coming out this year just seems to be broken.
I just shot this guy in the head and he's just not even feeling it.
He's just like, oh, you stop tickling my brew.
Right. But the thing is that, like, with all these, like, AAA companies releasing these games, I don't want to hear anything about COVID.
Well, no, especially with Valhalla. Valhalla's got absolutely no excuse. Valhalla was revealed to us 2 months after lockdowns and everything began. You know,
yeah.
Round about that March, April time. So you would assume that this game would have been in a working state, considering, you know, up and prior till about a month before that time, everybody would have still been in the office.
Exactly.
So why is it that this game is so broken? You know, what, 7 months after they announced it? They announced it just after lockdown. Could this be a last gen and new gen thing? A PS4, PS5, Xbox, all three?
See, I don't know, but like one of the things that I want to point out, right, is that okay, the DLC for Doom Eternal, Valhalla, Cyberpunk 2077, right?
Yeah.
What did we have released in 2020? We had the Lesbians of Me Too. We had Ghost of Tsushima.
Fantasy.
Yeah, Final Fantasy.
Let's not forget Final Fantasy VII, probably the greatest remake ever made, which was absolutely robbed of narrative at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Because it was such a diversion and change from the original Final Fantasy that I felt that should have had recognition. But then, who am I to argue with the Last of Us 2 Game Awards, which was clearly rigged from start to finish? I mean, Ghost of Tsushima got a Gamer's Choice Award. That's all you need to know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it kind of made no sense. Like, they did get that. They didn't get okay, you gave The Last of Us 2 Game of the Year. Okay.
Look,
I didn't feel it was Game of the Year.
I platinumed that game, and it is not Game of the Year. It was exactly the same game with a different story. Like, there was no advancements in combat, like, none whatsoever. It was exactly the same, like, crafting system, combat system, everything was the same. It just looked nicer. Now, I did platinum it, okay? I will admit that. I played through it twice to get the platinum. The second time I played through it, I skipped every single cutscene. I played through it purely just to get the platinum. That game was horrific to me. I don't know why they went in that direction. It certainly wasn't the Ellie and Joel story that I wanted. I thought we were going to get Ellie as a teenager and Joel as a slightly older man. And yes, he's probably going to die 3/4 of the way through the game, because that's how, you know, Last of Us 3 moves in with Ellie being the main character. Yeah, no, let's kill him in the first hour. Let's do it brutally. Let's do it with a woman who lives during the apocalypse, who seemingly has access to the greatest gym on the planet.
I don't think she could have got that. Look at this. I still must be anonymous. The guy isn't even with me. I just teleported away from him.
Wow.
This guy is gone. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this error. What are you doing?
And this is a weekly, yeah? Or a daily?
This is a daily. it'll probably give me the thing tomorrow.
So I picked this up today then, because I picked my dailies up today. I loaded into it. I went from where I was standing to the homestead. I picked up, spoke to Reda very quickly, ran up to the tattooist, and then turned it off.
Oh my god.
Like, I did try, I thought, right, podcast tonight, man, come on, advancing the story, and just, no, I couldn't do it, man.
I can't, I just don't know what's going on. Like, so this week, they're going to actually drop another patch. No, guy, we don't know how to save. I mean, if you do, you're more than welcome to tell us, but right now we don't know how to fix the saves. Like, some people just see it magically fixed.
Did you upload non-corrupt save, maybe to PS4 or the Xbox clouds like beforehand. Maybe, you know, delete the save you've got on your system and maybe download from the cloud. Maybe that's the only way I could think of saving it.
That's
or
what
at
I've been
least
doing.
fixing it.
I've been doing that just in case, just so that, you know, I didn't have any issues or any disappointments, you know? Because at the rate that people are like talking about that this stuff is crashing, I'm like, bro, this is scary.
And this is where I'll tell you that this is why I know people are genuinely honest about the problems they're having. I have never had the corrupt save, not once. But yeah, I've got this little save where I have to go speak to a guy. The marker's over the map, but the guy's not there.
That is absolutely crazy. I'm going to try Iceman's method right now. I'm trying to reload and see if it will give it to me. And then I'm going to try headshots and try to cancel the quest and do it again. I'm going to see if this works, because this is like really crazy. Like, you know, I love Assassin's Creed. I love the series. It's one of the main staples of this channel.
Yeah.
I was expecting an influx of subs and viewers and everything like that when Valhalla came out. There are so many people that are not even giving it a shot, or that are not even playing, because they you know, they see the damage, or they just can't play their own game. Nobody wants to put even 5 hours into a game and then have to start over because the game crashed.
Yeah, that's true. Right, give me 2 seconds, man. I'll let you.
Yep.
I'm getting shit on by my daughter. I'll be as quick as I can.
No problem. Oh my god. Okay, so look, it just reset the actual thing. As I wow. It just reset it. I go back into it, it resets. Okay, we're gonna go there again. We're gonna see if I can save this guy. And we'll see what happens. This is like really nuts. Is anybody else experiencing this? You know what, Jordan? No, I honestly don't know what you could do to talk to Retta. I don't know why people are having these problems, but they are, and it's scary. And the thing is, all I can say for sure is that this week, Ubisoft is going to be releasing another patch. They're going to be giving us 1.05. So hopefully in 1.05, they actually fix all the stuff that they swore was going to be fixed in 1.04. Because in all honesty, they really didn't fix anything in 1.04. Everything that they said that was going to be repaired absolutely was not. So my question was, what did they really fix? And in fact, they actually made a couple of things a lot worse. We actually had a lot of people started getting these save errors, these glitches where like you couldn't actually save your game or teleport or anything like that. So that becomes a problem. So now I just don't know what they're doing. What's happening, Dead Wolf? You know what, AA? That's what I'm saying. They definitely need to give us some kind of compensation. They need to give us, you know, like some kind of free skins or something. They had, you know, like the Bayek suit is now locked unless like you watch their thing ahead of time. And
they did say they were going to make that available at some point, though.
All right, and then there's the other thing, that axe or something. That's another thing that's not available now. That's going to be like a future event or something like that. No, Ubisoft still didn't fix the Odyssey Connect thing yet. They're still working on it. There's supposed to be a patch that comes out for that. Can't wait for that patch to come out because I want to see if there's any glitches that could be done afterwards for that.
Yeah, they'll probably break something.
Yeah, they most likely will. This game is completely broken. This game like clearly was not ready for release.
And this is what I was saying. This boggles my mind. Why promote it when they did, knowing for a fact that they were promoting it 1 month after the world went into lockdown? So the game should have been at a point already anyway.
Well, the thing is that the main thing is that what they wanted to do was beat out Cyberpunk. That was the game that everybody was afraid of.
And then Cyberpunk comes out being the buggiest game and worst launch in damn near a generation.
Yeah, it was just absolutely nuts. And then, a couple of people tell me, oh, well, you know, Cold War was competition too. And, you know, like, I love that energy. I understand that. But, you know, like...
To be fair, Cold War is actually probably the worst of the situation at the moment because it's actually bricking consoles.
Not only is it bricking consoles, it's bricking your HDs, your external hard drives. If you have an external hard drive, it's bricking it. Yeah. All your data.
I don't hear these problems for Xbox One or PS4, but from what I understand, these problems are very real when it comes to next gen. Like, it is literally killing all of your consoles, everything.
Yeah, it's also not just that it's bricking your consoles, but like your external hard drives on your PS4, your Xbox One, gone. All your data that's there, gone.
See, that for me would suck. I've got a 4 terabyte onto my phone.
Me too.
I've got 170 plus games installed, and honestly, like, we live in the year 2020, right? We're at a point now where we have sophisticated computers, outstanding next-gen consoles, and you're trying to tell me developers still can't make a bloody game properly for launch? I mean, what happened to the good old days? What happened to the good old days of PS1 and PS2, where you went and bought the game and you got what was on the disc?
Exactly.
That was it. The game,
I don't know.
They had to launch that game and it had to work. Like, there was no day 1 patches, day 2 patches, week 1 patches, week 3 patches, and then, with the except, like, let's look at, you know, we're talking Assassin's Creed, let's look at Unity, where they have to remove 25% of the map and replace it with a new portion of map because the first portion of map they used was that buggy and broken. It was dropping everybody's frames down to 2 minutes.
I don't know. That stuff is crazy. What's up, Shield Maiden? And see, Deadwolf is saying that he's glad that he doesn't have next gen.
Well, I am as well. I could not get my hands on a PS5 to save myself, and to be honest with you, I am quite happy. I'm quite happy to wait till the end of next year now.
I am absolutely afraid to turn on my PS5. I really I don't want to play any.
I don't blame you.
I don't want to play any of my games on my PS5. I'm just like, no.
Oh,
I don't want it to brick.
And the thing this weird is just this year is so weird. Like, I don't think there's been a year for games.
Headshot really just said, if Valhalla is this bad, Far Cry 6 is going to be a show for sure. And you know what? Yeah, I've got the PS5, I've got the Series X. I'm definitely afraid to play anything on either of them. Yeah, a couple of people, Shield Maiden. A couple of people are having that, and you know what? This it was a hotfix was supposed to fix it, and it hasn't. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on. Even Cyberpunk had a hotfix.
Yeah, I don't think the hotfix did much. Watching a video about that earlier on, I understand it did a little bit of stability, but I understand a lot of the bugs are still there though.
Yeah, the freaking Ubisoft's hotfix seems to have caused more damage. Oh look, this time it completed. Wow. You know what, Shield Maiden? You wouldn't be alone. You don't know how many people have given up.
Yeah, I gave up.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 27 is a buggy mess. Yup, a lot of people are complaining about that. It's not the game. It's not the system though. It's the actual game is bricking it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's happening on Xbox and PlayStation. It's happening on both. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be a PC problem. But you know, why would they? PC Master Race and all that. But yeah, when it comes to Xbox Series, I'm not sure. Yes, but I know the X and the PS5 are definitely.
You don't want it to brick your PC. If it bricks your PC, that company owes you buku bucks. You could start making up what you had in that PC. You could borrow parts from friends and be like, "Look, this is what I had."
Yeah. You will replace it.
It's only the Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty game that's bricking it, Danny. Everything else is working fine or buggy like it is on all the other systems. But only for some reason Call of Duty is bricking your system, and it's also bricking your hard drives if you have the external hard drive, like on a PS4 or Xbox One. I died laughing when I saw this longboat like on the land, and it was like over here. It was like on the road. Like I'm about to hop on, and I'll put the video up. I was about to hop on with a bunch of freaking of horses with like a bunch of these guys. I forget what mission we were going to do, and the longboat was in the middle of the road.
Well, Kamikaze, let me tell you, you'll be waiting a while for the PS5 version of Cyberpunk, because there is no Xbox Series S or X or PS5 version of Cyberpunk at the moment. Because on the next-gen consoles, they run on backwards compatibility. There's CD Projekt Red came out and said that there will not be a next-gen upgrade for Cyberpunk until at least the middle to end of next year. So the game you're playing on next-gen consoles right now, especially on PS5, you're playing backwards compatibility. You're not playing a true next-gen version of Cyberpunk.
Which is crazy. Did you hear? Oh my God, look at this. Look at this. Look. What? This tree is floating in the air. Look at this. I'm sliding under it. Look. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I wonder if I light it on fire.
I get that. Shield Maiden, I get that. I paid, I believe it was £93 for like the full-on Ultimate Edition, Season Pass, all the trimmings, all the extras. I've played 100 hours into it, and I just find it a chore. I find it tedious. I don't find the story compelling. I do find present day compelling, but the problem is I find the in-animus experience so tedious, I can't even make my way back to present day.
Yo, I just killed my wolf.
Well, that was awfully nice of you, man. Like, he's gonna appreciate you for that, isn't he? Next time you whistle him, I hope he pisses on your leg.
I really can't with this thing. Oh, they just gave me my 5 opal.
Wow, man, their servers are slow.
Speaking of servers, did you hear that 3 players were playing Fallout 76 and they set off 3 nukes at once and it just shattered the server? It absolutely shattered the server.
It's what?
It queued in cold Glasgow Street at midnight. I can't. This you know, and this is why, like, I actually put up a rant video. I started a rant channel, believe it or not, where it's just me, like, just ranting, just flipping out over everything. And
listen, Glasgow's just as buggy as this game. You don't know what you're gonna fucking get when you go to Glasgow. It's just as buggy as this. You never know what you'll come across. Like,
I can't with these games. And the thing is that they really need to, like, give some type of compensation. They need to throw, like, something at us, you know, not just for this game, but, you know, for Doom Eternal, for the Cold War, for you know, players that are playing Cyberpunk. They really should. I mean, you know, I'm glad that they're doing the thing where they're going to be, you know, like, fixing the game. Obviously, I mean, we paid good money for these games, but they really do have to give something in the way.
You know, on PS4, you know, 93 quid for the Ultimate Edition of this game is not cheap, but then you move to PS5 and you've got that extra £10 on top of it, which puts you to £102, £103. It's like, man, like, if I'm giving you £100, will you at least give me a base experience that fucking works?
For real. It's just, it's like absolutely insane.
For some families, £100 is 1+ month food shop. It's clothes for kids. For a lot of gamers, especially when it comes to money and value of money, it's an investment going up to that price.
It is.
You know, and you get a game that's broken, buggy. I don't know. Yeah, it's just weird. Glasgow is the bit. Absolutely not. I believe Inverness is. Sorry. Absolutely not. Inverness is the best city in Scotland because that's where I was born. That's where I was raised.
Here's what makes me sad is that I see 0 experience points every time I level now. I would love...
Yeah, so you just get... Well, that's what you get for cheating, son.
No, I would love to see... You know what? The greatest system ever was the mastery system for Origins. Because you could continually...
Odyssey
No.
was the better one. No, Odyssey was the better one. You would go to the blacksmith and you could continually do your perks and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the thing is that in Origins, their masteries, you could continuously grow your masteries. You could eventually like one punch a war elephant. You could one shot a freaking god with an arrow. Like that to me is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, look, she was from Inverness.
Ah, nice. So you're from Inverness. Well, I grew up in Clawdon. Spent a little time in Hilton, went to Inverness Royal Academy, moved to Glasgow for a while. Now I'm in Fife. So nice to meet you, Shieldman.
Oh my God, where am I going with this thing? These puzzles are all right.
Yeah, these ones didn't. Do you know the cairnstones bug the hell out of me?
Yeah.
It's like I've got a bug on a couple of them where it's like get them this high, and it doesn't matter if like even if you take all of them and you stand them vertically one on top of the other, that's still not high enough.
That's a pain. I don't know, like a lot of the stuff that here, you know, like I don't. There's a bunch of stuff that people nitpick, and like I tend not to, you know, like I'm not gonna nitpick like the tiniest little things. Mostly what I'm gonna be angry at is game breaking stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And like I'm telling you, I did this video, and this one guy, he's like, "Oh man, you know, this video was too negative. I'm gonna you know like unsubscribe." And I'm like, why? And his defense was, I haven't experienced any of that. Yeah, just because you didn't experience any of that doesn't mean it's not there.
Listen, the amount of videos I saw of Assassin's Creed Unity with Arno's father with no face, and do you know what? I never experienced that. Ever. Not once. But yet loads of people did.
Yeah, it's just, you know, like, and there's so many people that are reporting that are having those problems, you know? No, Dior mentality, I'm telling you right now, I don't know any good ore locations. The only thing that I know to do is, like, get a bunch of silver, buy it from the shop, and then, yeah, and then, like, level up, and then you'll be able to buy it again.
Or you can do what Ubisoft wants you to do and go to their cash store and buy it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's no way. There's actually something that I did want to try that somebody had made mention of. Because somebody had another huntsman outfit like I did. And they actually were able to duplicate like a metric butt ton of runes with like all their stuff put together.
Hmm. See, I haven't even been to a snowy area yet, other than Norway, so, like, that shows you how far into the game I am.
That's crazy. Like, I don't know, I just
like,
don't...
I'm in Scotland, right, and the one thing I was absolutely looking forward to was getting to Hadrian's Wall.
Oh.
Because there's, like, a trophy for, like, lighting braziers or something along the walls or something like that. And I can't be bloody bothered.
I did that. I got that trophy. It's really not that hard either. It was just kind of crazy. I just got the trophy this morning for like the boats, hitting the 5 boats in 2 minutes. There's an area where like I lined all the boats up. They were empty boats. I just lined them all up and I just rammed right through all 5 of them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like even like the more I watch you, like I'm sitting watching your gameplay at the moment, and it's Origins, but worse.
Yeah, it's getting repetitive, is what it is. It's getting like all the dailies with Retta. That's super repetitive. All the different things that like you can do in the game. Uh, it's either broken, you can't advance, or there's some sort of issues. Like you don't know. I'll show you the place in London that I'm talking about. Every time I go to do this, I keep running into the problem where I cannot get this guy out of the building. He won't even talk to me. He won't even talk to me. It's like, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I really can't. It's like nuts.
So it's like, I know where to go to get Excalibur, like the caves to do, the puzzles to get, I can't even be bothered just skipping by the game just to go to those locations to get it. And this is the thing that frustrates me with this game, is for me there just doesn't seem to be excitement in it. I can't, like, you're at your homestead essentially. I just can't be bothered. Like, I upgraded every building so that it was up, but I can continually upgrade to get more stats.
I would like to see.
But I don't want to have to do 50 hours of gameplay just to get those stats.
Right.
Like, what happened to memory blocks? I mean, this is Assassin's Creed, right? You go by the DNA in the line of memory. That's clearly gone. Because you're not doing memory blocks, now you're living a life.
Yeah.
You're living somebody's life. They're making you quite literally live the entire God knows how many years of that person's life.
I can get you that one.
No, thank you. Give me a memory block. Well, I suppose this game kind of has memory blocks. Each sort of region is a memory block as such. I suppose you could look at it that way. They're all contained stories. So I suppose Valhalla has that right in that sense. So I'll give it that. But I shouldn't have to pick up 100,000 different things and do God knows how much in between. I mean, what happened to just giving me a good narrow, here's the beginning, here's the middle, here's the end, here's an outstanding ending with the first civilization that's going to give you hints to the next one, and then let's go. Like,
I don't know. I think those days are gone, man. I don't know.
If modern day is hurting Assassin's Creed and they don't know what to do with modern day, and that's why, then just don't focus on modern day. Stop pulling us out of the Animus. Just create a game and go, this is your assassin, this is your time period, you'll get hints to the next game when you get to the first Civ stuff at the end, and be happy about it. Because I'll be honest with you, like, as much as I want an open world remake of 2 Brotherhood and Revelations, and as much as I think they'd absolutely destroy it, and I have to say that, I don't think Ubisoft would get, for some reason, the world we live in today, I think they would ruin Ezio's character.
You think so?
I think so. Look at the sort of guy that Ezio was. He was charismatic. He was a ladies' boy before he was a ladies' man. You know? You had Christine. You had, you had all these things about Ezio. There's a reason why, as young men, we related to Ezio. You can't relate to that these days, because it's wrong.
Yeah.
You're being all sorts of slurs. It's like, you look at a girl today, and you go, "Phew, that's a fine ass." 50% of the audience is going to go, "Oh, you're being sexist." Do you know what I mean? That's the world we live in today. So how would you create a character like Ezio today?
That's true. It would be a tough sell.
So how do you remake a character like Ezio? Because the remake of Ezio is not going to be the Ezio that people want. Because
I think they would have to keep him the way that he was. They would have to. They can't alter that. You know what I'm saying? You can't stray from the path, because it would make no sense.
Voice actor. You got to get Roger Craig Smith back as the voice actor.
Right.
You cannot change Ezio's voice actor. It doesn't matter how much you want to. You want to take you want to do a different take on Ezio. it worked well for that little side-scroll game they did when you played as the Chinese lassie.
Oh yeah.
And you go into the training room and the guy starts speaking and it's Ezio and he's like, "You will hunt your sword," and it's like, yeah, that's not Ezio. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Loomer put out a great video on this years ago, where he actually replaced the voice. He got Roger Craig Smith to re-record the voice, and he put it over
As a friend,
the diabolical voice that was put in that place, and it sounded so much better, man. Like, Ubisoft literally couldn't be asked paying Roger Craig Smith a couple of £100 to come in and do not even 2 minutes worth of voice work.
That's insane. You know, things like that.
Danny, come on, man. They wouldn't ruin Ezio. You look at what sort of guy Ezio was, and then you look at where we live and how we live today, and you're telling me that they would do a 100% true... yeah, I'm hard pressed to believe that, bud. If they're going to change lines of text, it doesn't matter if you change somebody's attitude at that point, does it? Yeah. Odyssey, but the Ultimate Edition... I don't know. I can't say you made a mistake buying the Ultimate Edition of Odyssey. I mean, the DLC is slightly ridiculous, but still fun to play through. Yeah.
So he's not sure if this is true, but his friend told him a lot of people were complaining about Ezio and the location of the game. I don't know that a lot of people were complaining about Ezio and the location of the game. I know.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find anybody who is an OG Assassin's Creed fan that's gonna, like, Altair is the original assassin. You know, he came back in Revelations. They had that really cool moment together. You know, all those things. But Ezio's the golden age of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I was kind of upset when I found out that they changed from Altair to Ezio, because Altair grew on me. But then once I started playing as Ezio and getting deep into it, I started falling in love with the character. Connor, I felt they made him a stereotypical, like, Native American from, like, old school westerns in the United States. You know, where he just sounded dumb and stuff like that, and it just, I didn't like it. I think that, you know, that he should have been, like, a little more fleshed out and everything. Edward Kenway, he grew on me too. I thought that he was, you know, pretty funny. When they make the freedom cry where it's his shipmate, that's all of a sudden an assassin. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand how we got there. Like, everybody was an assassin by association or something.
Yeah, it was like, well, you killed an assassin who went Templar.
Right.
Say we're talking Edward Kenway here, you know.
Yeah, but I'm talking about his crewmate. The Zagali or whatever his name. I can't remember the black gentleman that was on his ship. That was like his crew hand. Well, his first mate.
You like Ezio and Altair. One of the greatest things I have ever heard in an Assassin's Creed game was said by Ezio Auditore himself. And what that was when I was a young man, I had liberty, but I did not see it. I had time, but I did not know it. I had love, and I did not feel it. Many decades would pass before I understood the meaning of all three. And now this twilight of my life, this understanding has passed into contentment. Love, liberty, and time. Once so disposable are the fuels that drive me forward, and love most especially. And that's Italian, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I'll butcher it. For you, our children, our brothers and sisters, and for the vast and wonderful world that has given us life and keeps us guessing, endless affection, Maya Sophie, forever yours, Ezio Auditore. Now, Ezio is absolutely the most sophisticated assassin I think we've ever had. He grew up with loss. He is, the best way to put it, he's almost as if he was like Indiana Jones. In a way
pretty
of his
much.
time, you know? And Ezio's words are very prolific in a sense. Because back then, the story of a game mattered. It wasn't the size of the world.
Yeah, they did a lot with the story that they had.
You know? And at the same time, you know, you have to give credit where credit's due. It's the same writer. For Valhalla, that was the same writer for Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood and whatnot. And this makes me wonder what the hell happened.
I don't know. See, look, this is the area I'm talking about. Like, I keep telling people that I have beef here, and they're telling me, oh, you know, like, you just gotta break the crates. I can't even talk to this guy. Can't even get him to go. Supposedly, he's outside. I can't even hit these damn things.
Yeah, they're not breaking for you at all, are they?
No.
Adewale.
Yeah, Adewale was the guy that I was talking about from Freedom Cry, and I was like, where did he become an assassin? You know, like, I still enjoyed the game, you know, there's no doubt about that. I definitely did, but I don't know where we got that from.
See,
where he became an assassin.
Yeah, Kamikaze, I can't agree with that. Brotherhood and Black Flag were amazing. They were amazing games. I genuinely feel now, after Black Flag, that was the downfall of Assassin's Creed. That was the first truly open world game in Assassin's Creed, where it wasn't just a city, or, like, obviously Assassin's Creed 1 had, you know, you had your 3 or 4, you know, Middle Eastern cities and that little sort of in-between area that you could go to between them all.
Mm-hmm.
But Black Flag was the first game that went truly open world. And no surprise that it was exactly the same team that made Origins. It was Israf Ismail. Same team. And that's unfortunately where as an Assassin's Creed fan, you know, I hate it when, like, my kid comes up and goes, Dad, are you an OG? And it's like, well, yeah, I kind of am, because I was like 20 when I played it. And it's like, Black Flag was the deviation, and Rogue was like the side project that came out the year after alongside Unity, so next-gen consoles and current-gen consoles at the time had, you know, they both had an Assassin's Creed game. But it's no surprise you went to Syndicate and then straight into Origins at that point, because the Black Flag team proved something. Open world games work, but the problem is they didn't look at what Black Flag actually was successful on. They just looked at it, wow, we made a big world. That worked, people loved it. No, people liked the story. What they didn't like was the 100 hours it takes to get through these games. And what they did when it came to these last 3 games is, with Origins, I would say 55 hours story completion.
Yeah, I would say around there.
Yeah. I would say Odyssey 70 to 80. With the side, at time of release, you had to do side stuff if you wanted to progress in rank. So you did have to deviate from the main story. So I'll say an extra 10 to 20 hours for Odyssey. This game's ridiculous. I've done 100 hours plus. 107, I believe, is my max now. And according to Ubisoft Connect, I am not even 65% of the way through the game.
Yeah, I don't think they counted in hours. I think they counted in, like, things you complete, including their little stupid things there, their side quests and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But then at the same time, if, like, I am playing Valhalla exactly the same way I am playing Odyssey. Is I go to an area, I wipe out everything that's going on, grab everything, move on with the story. There's obviously going to be some places you can't get to because, you know, it's story bound, which is especially relevant with Valhalla. There's lots of things you can't get unless you progress through the story. Yeah, I don't know. This game just feels like double the length. For some reason, to me anyway, it feels like it's taking 2 times as long to get through this as it did Odyssey.
Yeah, all the extra hours that I put into Odyssey, I kind of feel like that was from, you know, just the extras that I was doing. This game does kind of feel long. It really does. But, you know, like sometimes, in some cases, you know, like you want that length of game because you really do want, you know, like to really get your money's worth. And I'm fine with that. The problem that I have is I think that what's making it feel like the game is so long is all the game-breaking bugs, man. That's what I feel like. I feel like that's what's really doing the damage there.
I can't disagree with that. Because it's the bugs that are stopping me from progressing. That's part of the reason why I put my controller down.
I really do feel, because there are a lot of people that are just giving up, that are just not playing the game. They're stopping. I've known people that are asking for refunds. I know people that they're calling Ubisoft or contacting Ubisoft and asking them about, you know, like what they can do. This is the situation I'm having. And Ubisoft has actually told a couple of people, oh, you got to contact Sony for that.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, like why would I have to contact Sony for something that's obviously something that's going on to other players?
I mean, if they're asking for refunds, then I could imagine that Ubisoft would say you have to go through Sony, like Sony, especially if you've bought it digitally.
Right.
But Sony's got quite a strict refund policy, I believe, where like you can pre-order the game and you can cancel that pre-order at any time, because obviously you'll know yourself with Sony, you pay your money up front, as where beforehand you didn't have to. Or at least at the beginning of the generation you didn't have to. So I suppose in a way, you know, if you're buying it digitally, then you really are stuck with Sony's return policy more than you are with Ubisoft's.
Right.
So it's like, you know, when it comes to Sony, once you I believe you can or it might not actually be. It might be once you trigger the download of the game, that's when your returns policy is essentially ripped. Because you've downloaded the software.
Right.
As where with something like Steam on PC, you can download the software and you can play it for, I believe, 2 or 3 hours. And then you can request a refund if it's broken. But like after a specific playtime, like you can't get that refund on Steam. And I believe Xbox is actually more like Steam now.
Alright, headshot.
If I remember rightly.
Really? Oh yeah, Xbox is no, I thought Xbox was like PlayStation, honestly.
No, I do believe Xbox's return policy is better than PlayStation's, because PlayStation's return policy for digital games is atrocious. Like the second
it's
you
like
download,
you're done.
That's it. Like, that doesn't matter if you even played it. The second you initiate that download, that's it. You'll lose your refund if the game's broken.
That's crazy. We usually stream, what do you call it? We do the podcast every Saturday now, from 3 to whenever. Yeah.
And I have to apologize for that, because not only was I sick this week, the week before that I was running late.
No, it's all good.
There was no way I would have got back in time for it. So it really is just. Unfortunately, I have kids and things happen, and I know it gets in the way of schedules and stuff, and I do apologise, but we do our best.
Yeah, I do have to come up with like a better stream schedule too. I just stream randomly.
See, if you let me know nights you're streaming, that's nights maybe I can just randomly drop in with you.
I could do that next time. I got to come up with a schedule. I really do.
See, you're not focused on just doing your videos now, though, right?
Yeah, I really am. I have like a lot of fun doing those.
Yeah.
I mean, I could always like, you know, like take cuts of like the live streams and like edit it out and stuff like that, you know. That's not a problem, but I don't know, I have like a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, well, that's what you like doing, man. You know, it's the best way for you to interact with your community. At the end of the day, if Ubisoft's going to release broken games, then, you know, as an Assassin's Creed fan, you're going to have an opinion, and that opinion should be heard just like any other fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only difference is you have a platform and you have a voice.
Did you hear about, now that you say that, did you hear about that kid Rogan?
I don't think so.
This kid, 6 years old, absolute prodigy at playing Call of Duty. Absolute killer. 6 years old. Right? Him and his father played together. They're live streaming. Out of nowhere, the kid, the stream, the game completely stops. And the kid gets a message that he's permanently banned from COD.
Wow.
Why?
Just because he was a good player.
I don't know if it was because he was a good player. I don't know if they're trying to use that, you know, he was 6 years old. Now, the only thing that they could really do is that, you know, if he was 6 years old, he can't have his own account, obviously.
Well, you can have a child account, but it has to be locked behind your parents' account when it comes to PlayStation.
I don't know what they do as far as like a claim with Call of Duty, though.
Well, my kid doesn't have a kid's account. I wasn't like, at the end of the day, like the games I play, as an adult, I look at them and you know, if it's something he's wanting, I'll look at it online and I'll judge it that way. I don't need PlayStation to decide whether my kid should play a game or not.
Will you protect me on the road?
And I certainly don't need the Call of Duty developers turning around and going, ah, well, there's a 6-year-old playing on that account. You know, let's just steal his 80, 100, 120, whatever he spent on the Ultimate Edition.
That's crazy. Oh, see, Iceman says that he heard it was fake. I heard rumors that it was fake too, but I haven't heard any proof. If it is fake, that's messed up. If he did that for clout, that'd just be stupid. That'll blow up in his face.
Yeah, well, the Call of Duty community is going through some anguish at the moment. It turns out a lot of the YouTubers that play Call of Duty have been reverse boosting and getting into, like, noob lobbies to get their nukes. One of the bigger ones, the Korean Savage, I believe, just came out and admitted he was reverse boosting. So, like, see all these YouTubers you see getting the nukes in Call of Duty? They literally have another account which has no stats on it, and it gets them into a protected lobby where, like, new players and that go, and that's how they get their nukes.
Wow.
They basically join their second account so they get into that lobby. They remove that account so it comes out of that lobby, and then that spot's filled, and then you have like a YouTuber playing against people with 3 fingers and 1 toe.
That's crazy.
And honestly, it's disgusting, man. The problem is, though, is this is what skill-based matchmaking has done to Call of Duty. It's literally sucked the fun out of it to the point where these YouTubers feel like they have to go up with people who are disabled or people who just aren't very good players who should be in protected lobbies so they can have a fun experience. They're breaking into these lobbies so they can get their nukes. So they have video content to get their millions of views with.
That's messed up.
You know, and that's the situation that Call of Duty is in the moment. So they did put out very recently a massive wave of bans. I do know that because it got exposed. So I wonder if that's maybe what's happened there.
It's possible.
It's curious. Call of Duty, like, I enjoy a bit of Modern Warfare, but Black Ops just looked absolutely garbage to me. I played the alpha, and it was such a step back from what Modern Warfare was.
Big.
Yes, darling.
This is messed up.
Yes. Yes. Filling you up.
You can just hear them having sex. That's just nasty.
Oh, are you glad you came?
No, you're the one standing there listening to it, bro.
She came. This is supposed to be the rock of fertility. She's supposed to get fertile.
Children as this rock brought forth.
You see, the problem is, though, is it doesn't matter if every game's got skill-based matchmaking, because Bungie removed skill-based matchmaking from Destiny, and you still get cheaters. And the game's going cross-gen this year, so yay, everybody will be able to play with each other. PC, Xbox, PlayStation, so have fun with trials and stuff.
Oh God.
Cheating is just, it seems to be absolutely rampant on PC, aimbots and wall hacks, and like that's not the sort of thing you come across on, like, the best you come across on console is DDoSing.
Yeah.
You know, like, but PC is just full of cheaters, and they're about to make this game completely, like, cross-generational between all platforms, and I'm just like, yep, I won't be going into the Crucible anymore at that point, unless you have a opt-out from PC option.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That they would do something like that.
Yeah, Destiny's completely broken now, man. They've got emotes that crash the entire game for people. Like, you can go into the new raid, and if somebody's putting one of the, like, the power balls where it has to go, like, somebody next to them can do an emote and then steal that ball off them, and then it crashes everybody's game except for them.
That's
like,
nuts.
So, like, everything being released this year from Destiny, Assassin's Creed, Cyberpunk, everything seems to be broken. But Cyberpunk had 7 years, Valhalla had 3, Destiny was delayed, so it had at least 1.5 to 2 years. It's not a massive expansion, but 1.5 some oddest time for an expansion for Destiny. But yet they all end up broken when the COVID lockdowns have only been in place for 7 months, 8 months at the most. So what is going on? And like I said, I wonder if this is a cross-generational thing. I wonder if this is them trying to make games for consoles that have SSDs instead of hard drives and these I/O through points that the PlayStation have, that, you know, like, it makes me wonder if it's a cross-gen thing that's caused this.
Yeah, but did we have these issues from PS3 to PS4 or Xbox 360 to Xbox One? I don't think so.
No, but at the same time, we were still going from hard drive to hard drive in similar technology. The only difference with PS3 to PS4 is you went from cell process to AMD process. So the jump wasn't as significant as with the jump this time round is significant, because you're not just getting rid of that mechanical drive, you're going SSD. You've got all the more powerful technologies. You've got, like, CD Projekt Red, you've got to feel sorry for them in some way. I mean, for Xbox alone, that's 5 different versions of the game. For PlayStation, that's 3. For PC, that's countless. I mean, did anybody expect CD Projekt Red to get this game right out of the door, the amount of times it had been delayed? If you did, then you had more faith than I did, and I didn't buy it because I had no faith.
It's a mess, man. Like, I really do. Like, you can play it, but it's just like what's going on with Valhalla. Like,
Yeah.
it's playable, but it's not where you want it to be.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not, you know, like, it's, I mean, I don't care about, like, you know, like frames per second, you know, like if it's tiny, you know what I'm saying? If it's supposed to be 60 frames per second and it, you know, like, we'll say it's like 50 frames a second or something like that. At that point, you could, I could see where, like, that may, you know, like, be still passable, but, you know, like, if I'm trying to, like, do a video and, like, the dude's junk just keeps flopping out, you know, like, I can't make a video like that, you know, like, I can't show you stuff like that. I can't heavily edit a video like that. That's nuts.
Yeah, YouTube's gonna it's gonna slap you down real quick.
Yeah,
Like
they're gonna have a field day with that.
See, it's a strange one. Like, the fact that they don't even warn, like, they know people are going to stream the game. Like, it was meant to be the biggest launch in history, and I suppose to a point it still was, because it had, like, what, 10 million pre-orders. So it's a difficult one, but they hid And this is something I
That
didn't
ship will be
realize.
torn apart if I don't do
All the
something.
way through their entire marketing campaign, they never showed any Xbox One or PS4 footage whatsoever. And I didn't realize that until it was pointed out in a video. Before the release, there was no footage of the PS4 or Xbox One consoles whatsoever. It was all next gen and PC.
That's crazy.
So does that fall under false marketing?
My whistle.
You know, it's
Come
one of those
on,
things,
let's
man.
get you home.
Like CD
You do
Projekt
want
Red
to
was
be
meant
home,
to be.
don't you?
It was meant to be the bright star in the sky, the company that everybody should strive to be.
And that's what I understood.
You know?
I mean, it has its errors, you know, like, but you know, even The Witcher was released, you know, like kind of buggy and stuff like that. But I don't know, not this buggy, from what I'm understanding.
Yeah. What a year. See, I wonder if it genuinely is just because of the year we've had.
Well, I don't know. The two things could happen. 2021 could happen, and you know, like everything could get better, or you know, 2021 could say "hold my beer" and shit like that.
Well, that's it. It could be holding my beer. You thought 2020 was cool, but you see this. This year, Korea's inbound. You know, Donald Trump refuses to leave the White House. That's going to be interesting. Well, the Simpsons have got a prediction that he dies this year, or next year, sorry.
I went through all
that's true.
So you could kill that poor
In
beast?
their cartoon, Donald Trump dies next year, so I'm just saying, and let's just be honest with you, the Simpsons predictions are freakily weird.
Between you and me, I've been dying to murder.
And they all seem to come true.
Fenton was a royal pain in my ass.
What's happening, Benners?
Be a good turn, stranger. Take some meat for your help. The alderman won't miss it.
It's mutton stew for me tonight. Farewell.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's like so much stuff that's going on that they, I don't know. It's just been like a rough year in gaming towards the end. The beginning was fantastic. We got so many freaking blockbusters, so many awesome games.
Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy.
Ghost of Tsushima, Lesbians of Me Too.
Wait, is that game with those two freaky lassies that seem to think that bodybuilding's in during the apocalypse?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's that one. I slept through that platinum. Sorry. Not being mean. I watched the Game Awards the other night, and that was cringe. That entire thing was an absolute.
Yeah, it was.
Just a complete and utter fix, start to finish. Like, how does Ghost of Tsushima get Player's Choice Award, but Last of Us clears everything?
I have no idea.
Because clearly the players are on a different playing field than the actual panel that puts these games, like, for Game of the Year and whatnot.
Sal, we're not enjoying this game, buddy. We're actually, you know, kind of, I don't know. There's a bunch of things they should have done that they didn't do.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree. There's something not right about this game. It really is, for me. It's a step back. Like, and this is where I have conflict. Right, a lot of the Assassin's Creed YouTubers out there actually enjoy this game. Like, all you have to do is look at the 4 pillars. They enjoy the game.
Mm.
You know, they all seem to have enjoyed the game. Like, there's things that a couple of them would change, but they enjoyed the game. And this is the one time I'm like, I don't get it. Right, okay, Darby McDevitt did the story in that for it, but how is this better than what we got back in the day? Like, Ghost of Tsushima's Ghost of Tsushima's the best game of this year.
That's what I said.
It's also the best Assassin's Creed game not made by an Assassin's Creed developer.
Exactly.
So let's do that there as well. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, the fans are really split. Like, the people that hated Odyssey love this game. I liked Odyssey. I have a particular dislike for this game, but I love the original Assassin's Creed games. So this time round, something's not gelled when it comes to this game. I don't know if it's the Viking period, or I don't know if it's just how the story's been laid out in front of us, but something's not working with this one.
I don't know what that is. I mean, honestly, like, I do like the present day story. I do like the Animus glitches. I do
the
like...
Animus glitches are cool.
I do like Asgard.
The one thing I do like about this game is the present day aspect inside the Animus. That shit is cool. Unfortunately, that's the only shit I like so far.
Is Ghost of Tsushima worth it? Does a bear shit in the woods? Hell yeah! Ghost of Tsushima is amazing.
Well, that's a good question, because does it shit in the woods if you don't see it shit in the woods?
I don't know. I mean, the bears in the Charmin commercials seem to actually, they seem to shit in the freaking actual toilet. But...
Well, it's that age-old question, isn't it? Does a tree make noise in the forest falling down if nobody's there to hear it?
Thor lends me
if a man makes a mistake and no woman is around, is he still wrong?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's when every other gender and everything else will come running in and tell you that you're wrong, and the politically correct will come in and tell you that you should have said it this way instead of that way. Like, you don't need women anymore. You don't even need men anymore. Nah, that's just a joke. But yeah, women are
No, I honestly don't know. The Game Awards, I don't know why they did what they did. Like, I honestly don't know why. I don't know why they...
that was, I mean, come on, man, that was rigged. That entire show was entirely rigged. Like, when you got to that bit and the game, like, you know, the Batman director's going, and Game Awards, or Game of the Year goes to Last of Us 2. Did you see Neil Druckmann's response, like the way he looked in that, the smugness on him?
Yep.
And I looked at him and I thought to myself, do you know what, mate? You may have won Game of the Year, but you never got the Player's Choice Award, did you?
Nope.
And that's the one, and that's what everybody needs to remember. The Player's Choice is the one that matters, because that's millions of people voting. Game of the Year is voted on by 90 different, like, magazines and, you know, IGN and all these people. And all these people have agendas.
Yeah, they're all woke all of a sudden.
You know, and it's one of those things. Don't go on Game of the Year. Go on the Player's Choice Award. That's us. That's the player choosing their Game of the Year. Not 90 people in, like, sitting around a round table thinking they're all Arthurian knights.
Actually, you want to know something that really blew my mind? And I can't believe that they're doing this to this guy. I started watching a YouTuber. The guy's name is Jeremy. He runs a channel called The Quartering. Okay?
Yeah, I know Jeremy.
Yeah, so I didn't really subscribe to him. I watched like a bunch of his content. And, you know, like a lot of his stuff I don't agree with, but I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of, you know, the kind of world we live in. I do not have to agree with his opinion. Some things I do agree with. Some things I don't agree with. Does not mean that, you know, like he doesn't know what he's talking about or he's some kind of moron or anything like that, because he's clearly not. Now, he was watching a review of, I can't remember who it was that reviewed Cyberpunk 2077. And this woman, she was reviewing it. It wasn't really her game. She said that she really didn't do like a lot of the things that you would do in the game. You know, like, I mean, you're supposed to give it a solid review, and you technically you didn't review it. You didn't do any of the things, you know. If she said, I wasn't interested in this, so I'm going to glaze over it or something like that, I could see her doing something like that. But she basically did not review it, gave it a 7 out of 10. Now, his take on that was, why would you bother giving it a 7 out of 10 if you didn't do basic things that you would do in reviewing the game. That's your job. And you know,
you got to take a sample of everything: side missions, collectibles. You've got to play, you know, at least all the way through the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they gave you the game and they gave it to you like a week early, maybe you'd have an opportunity to get through the story and stuff like that. If you couldn't get through the story that, you know, like quickly and stuff like that, nobody is going to, you know, ostracize you for that or anything like that. But the way, you know, like for you to come out and say like you didn't even bother, and he called her out on that, and now, you know, like the guy is literally being attacked, and I thought that was just nuts. I'm like, you know, this guy, he wants a review. He wants a solid review. If you don't like it, you gotta come up with like a reason why you don't like it. If you like it, you gotta come up with a reason why you like it.
Yeah, it can't be a review where, well, it seems to align with my beliefs, so I'll just give it a 7 out of 10. I might not like a few bits in the game, so I'll knock a couple of points off it, but, you know, this is the problem with reviewers. I mean, do you remember when the Resident Evil 2 remake came out?
Right.
There was the guy Damon from IGN, who played through it once, and he played again, and he gave a real bad review. And he got called out because he had played the game wrong. It's like he went from Leon A to Claire A instead of going to second scenario.
Right.
So he reviewed the game on that basis. Now that to me is a bad reviewer, and that to me is somebody who claims he absolutely loved the original Resident Evil 2 on PS1, but clearly wasn't intelligent enough to understand what second scenario meant, considering it was in the original game itself.
Well, that kind of blows my mind. Like, how were you really a fan if you didn't know how to play it the right way?
Well, it was done differently on PS1. Like, you could put Leon's disc in and go through Leon A, or you could put Claire's disc in and go through Claire A, sorry. And then you could switch to Leon and then go to B, and then from Leon to Claire B. So, like, it depended on the disc swap and what disc you played through first was the order you got Resident Evil 2 on PS1. But it was literally stated, this is Claire's story, this is Leon's story, this is their B scenarios. So if you play through Leon, you want to do Claire B. If you play through Claire, you want to do Leon B. If you do Leon A, Claire B, etc., etc.
Right.
So you get the story in different orders. And this man was a huge Resident Evil fan, apparently. And this reviewer is still reviewing games and is still getting slack to this day for some of the reviews that he puts out, when he couldn't even review the remake of his favourite game properly.
Well, that's why I say it's got to be, number one, allegedly his favorite game, and number two, like, how do you come out and not realize that that's what's going on?
Yeah, it's like because he came out in his review and he's like, well, I played through Claire's story and it was exactly the same cutscenes, same everything, and everybody just laughed at him, mate. Layman Gaming went after him, Angry Joe went after him, everybody went after him, and then, do you know, they gave it, I believe it was an 8 out of 10, or it was a 7 out of 10, and he gave that initial review, that 7 out of 10 review on what he played, which was Leon A and Claire A. So he played identical stories taking place at the same time, and he didn't play the game in order, okay? Even though he fucked up, and the second scenario is entirely different. He upped it by 1 point. So how does a 7 out of 10 game, based on a single scenario, get 7 out of 10, but then when he realizes he messes up and there's an entirely different scenario, how does it only go up by 1 point? Surely that game should have been a 14 out of 10.
The gods here.
He just threw it out there just to appease the fans. He figured, oh, I screwed up, let me give it 1 more point.
And this is why I do not go to IGN or GameSpot or Eurogamer or any of these bloody fake-ass people Like, one of my favourite reviews for Eurogamer, and it was the Ghost of Tsushima one, about how it was boring, dull, and it was, I can't remember the lassie's name, but I literally put in the comments, did you even play? Or did you have your LOT2 blinders on? You know, and I commented on that video. And it really does seem this day, it's like, well, we get paid for blogging, so, well, we don't really have to play the game, do we? Let's just watch a playthrough and do our review on that.
I don't know where Mr. Nibs is, Shiro. I know he's usually on here. He might just be watching us in the background.
But it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, because these people that are, you know, these journalists that we watch that put these review scores out, and let's be honest with you, the people voted for the, you know, Ghost of Tsushima for Player's Choice, but the committee voted for The Last of Us for everything.
You know what though? I think it's because this whole woke culture, this whole cancel culture, we're getting like too involved in it and stuff like that. I don't care what your race, color, nationality, you know, I don't care if you identify as a toaster. I don't care. You know, all I care about is that you're a good person.
You could be 2 feet tall, identify as Papa Smurf, and I'll still be your best friend as long as you're not a dick.
Exactly. But I think that, like, I think that this kind of thing that's going on right now is people trying too hard to be too PC. I think that that's what's going on. I think we're trying, like, way too hard to be too PC. We're trying way too hard to be offended. You know, like, I really think that, I mean, you could be offended by some things. You know, you could.
Of course you can. Everybody's got different views on life, different paths they take, and certain things offend people that some people find funny.
Exactly.
There's a reason why we have comedians. There's a reason why we have hecklers, sorry, in the audience with comedians. Because some people take things personally.
Exactly. I just don't understand why, like, every little thing, like, if you said something about a game, and I didn't like what you said, I try to debate you. You know?
Yeah.
If you still can't see my point of view, then it's fine. I'm not going to debate you. You know, it's a subject I'm not going to approach with you. You know, I'd rather not, because, you know, like, I can't sway your opinion. That does not mean that, like, I should dox you and get a whole bunch of, like, people to, like, rile up against you and stuff like that. Oh, you know, demonetize his channel because he doesn't agree with me and stuff like that. You know, like, that kind of, that's just crap, man. That's like crazy. I shouldn't have to destroy your life because you don't agree with me.
Yeah, exactly. It is daft, isn't it? It's like, oh, you don't have the same opinion as me. That fluff should be white, not yellow. I will, you know, I'll take your career. I'll screw your family. I'll make sure you can't provide for your children, all because you have got a different opinion.
Exactly. So now, in the case of The Last of Us 2 versus Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2 did have their things. What's up, Christina?
Last of Us. About the bush. Last of Us 2 is a good game.
It is. No, it totally is.
It is. It is a good game. I mean, Jesus, I platinumed it. Right? It's a good game.
It's Raven from now on.
But
come in.
It was a different story with the same mechanics as the first game.
Mm-hmm.
And a story that, quite honestly, nobody wanted.
I see only odds.
That's true.
That's what you think.
That's its problem.
These 3 items here are true treasures.
That's what I feel like. I feel like it could have been, I don't know, it could have been like so much better, you know? I mean, they threw Odyssey in there,
Which one?
Not Odyssey, Valhalla in there. Valhalla, I feel like, did not actually deserve to be on there because it came later. Same thing with Miles Morales. Miles Morales was on that list, but it came late in the game. You know? Doom Eternal...
They were November releases, weren't they?
Yeah, but they were still on the list.
Yeah, they tend to be. They tend to be. If you remember, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Odyssey was nominated for Game of the Year last year, yeah,
and
that came out October.
You'll see when you
Right.
put it on. We stuck
So,
some paper
from
in
what
it
I
to keep it
understand
from
with the Game
wrinkling.
Awards, once
So
you
get
hit
the
that
paper
end of
too.
November date, you don't qualify.
Alright,
Hence the
I'll
reason
take
why
it.
Cyberpunk wasn't
The
there.
paper
And
inside
to
comes
be
for
honest with
free.
you, after the launch
Bargains
Cyberpunk
galore
had,
at
I'd
the
be
Tiny
hard
Black
pressed to see it
Market.
get Game of the
Anything
Year,
else?
but watch
That
it get Game of the Year
petrified
next year
worm
once
looks a
all the
lot
bugs
like
are
a
patched.
stick.
That's because this word.
And that's
Oh,
something
by the
to
way,
watch
I don't
out
want
for.
to. I don't want to like switch our thunder off. Christina Ashley, New York. She's actually a good friend of mine. She's starting up her own YouTube channel. So if anybody's interested in like fashion and makeup and things like that, like that's the girl to go to. Like she actually owned her own business doing that
That is a
stuff,
powerful
and
enchantment
you know she's
Do you
looking
want to
into.
adopt my daughter? You can have her. Free of charge.
You bought all my treasures.
I've got £300
Never
worth of
was
fucking
coin better
pretty little
spent.
things, clothing and that down the
Farewell,
side of my
little one.
couch and makeup and shit for Christmas. If you like, free of charge.
Perhaps this is a treasure.
That's hilarious. Yeah, she's definitely gonna be starting up. Look, she said sure. She's definitely gonna be starting up. I'm actually excited for it and stuff. I was telling her about a good friend of mine who actually was in the business, who, like, you know, has all kinds of like free stuff and whatnot that she gets constantly and whatnot. But no, Christina Ashley, she used to actually own her own business. She used to actually do makeup for people and whatnot. She is good at her trade, and you know, any of the viewers who are actually, you know, like who may be interested in that, or who have girlfriends that may be interested in that, definitely subscribe to her.
I'll certainly put my daughters onto her.
Yeah.
Alicia especially.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
girl cost me an absolute butt ton for Christmas this year. But honestly, see when I say I've got 350 quid's worth of clothing and makeup sitting down next to me, like, I'm not joking, dude.
That's a lot of stuff. Oh,
That's
see,
a lot of shit
Kamikaze
to
said
wrap.
Hades, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, Doom were all nominees for Game of the Year.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, Final Fantasy VII Remake should have won it this year, and Resident Evil 2 should have won it last year, because the best games of this year and last year were bloody remakes.
That's true. That's true. Well, I kind of feel like Doom should have been in at least one of the musical categories or sound categories.
I'm sure it was.
I kind of feel...
I'm sure it was in there for music, but it didn't win.
I kind of feel like they gave Abby the award for like best voiceover because she
The last
got
one
so
got
many
released.
she got so many
Yeah.
death threats from people.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like, you know,
I
maybe this was a
agree with that.
compensation.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. See, I don't know. Abby's a very strange character to wrap your head around it. Because she's like that wart that shows up that nobody wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they wanted a Joel and Ellie story, and they got this abomination of a story. Yet Kamikaze, it was completely rigged, start to finish. And this is why I tell you, when it comes to Game of the Year this year, do not look at Game of the Year, look at Player's Choice. The Player's Choice is what matters. Not the Game of the Year. The Game of the Year is voted by a committee. The Player's Choice is every player's voice. That's millions of votes compared to 90 votes.
That's what kills me. I kind of feel, again, like you know, like this whole woke culture, like there's nothing wrong with supporting, you know, like various organizations. There's nothing wrong with supporting trans rights, with, you know, Black Lives Matters, any of those things. There's nothing wrong with supporting that. But the thing is that, like,
every life matters, man. And this is what annoys me, right? Every life matters. And people are going to come at me and go, whoa, you know, we've been suppressed for fucking God knows how long. Haven't we all? We all live under governments.
yeah. But the thing is that I think that the Black Lives Matter, I think that what their main forum is, that like over here in the States, you know, like there's a lot of videos popping up of you know, cops, you know, like killing black citizens. So I think that's where they're coming up with that. It might not make sense.
And I get that. I get that. But can you not kind of look at that argument and go, right, but we had a black president.
Yeah, I mean,
we can't all be that bad.
Well, no, I mean, we can't, and I think that pretty much...
No, Iceman, I know they're not saying that all lives don't matter, right? I get that. But the problem is the only videos you see are the videos that they want you to see. Like, see if you look up on YouTube and you actually type in white man being arrested or anything like that, you'll get hundreds of videos of car chases, police chases, robberies, gunfights, we're all as bad as each other, dude. The human race is the human race. We're all as bad as each other. We all have emotions, we all have instincts and drives, and we all do stupid things. The problem is, the Black Lives Matter thing over this last year is the only thing being shown.
Yeah, that's true. It's the same thing with again, part of the whole woke culture thing. We're trying to be too woke. We're trying to be too offended by just everything. And I think that's why Last of Us 2 won almost everything at the video game awards, at these, it was
an inclusive thing.
Yeah, it was way too many things that
And the thing that felt bad for me when I watched it as well, the whole Game of the Year bit at the end, is the only one out of everybody that was up there, especially when it came to the voice acting. The only one that actually live streamed the game and played it was Jin Sakai. That man actually live streamed himself playing the game, got emotional, cried.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Blew his fucking mind at the graphics of the game. Like, he was like, I'm not only in this game, but I'm going to play this game. Like, I'm going to be Jin Sakai on stream, and like, these actors and that do these games that apparently have such an appreciation for the industry, and only one out of every voice actor actually bothered to play the game on stream with the audience and enjoy it.
And not only did he play through it, he played through it on the Japanese setting a second time.
Yeah. And do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, man, you've got dedication, then you've got dedication. These people are going in there doing voice roles and then leaving.
Not that way. Go back.
And then you've got those people that go in and do voice roles that are like genuinely completely attached to the character to the point where they want to go stream it and play it with the audience.
That is actually awesome. I've seen him. I've seen that. I've seen him do that. That was actually pretty cool.
Did you see him watch the end of the game where Jin makes that choice? And the man starts crying. I started fucking crying with him.
So you and your fellows like to scare travelers.
I did. Like, I'm an emotional. I'm just genuinely an emotional person. So if something gets to me, I'll just start bubbling like a baby. And especially if you're watching a streamer who's invested, like completely invested, and it hits them, and they're the ones that actually did the acting, and it still hits them. That's writing.
Can you help us?
Because that writing didn't just hit the audience, it hit the actor himself to the point where the actor who is acting it was hit by it.
I'll make you into real ghosts.
We'll see about that.
That is absolutely crazy.
And not once did I think Abby was white. Not once did I think Abby was an amazing character, or Abby seemed very forced in there.
You'd be surprised. There are a lot of people for some reason, and again, I don't know if it's that they're forcing themselves to love this character, but they thought that the character was absolutely amazing.
I found Abby boring. When I got away from Ellie and the flashbacks with Joel, which were some of the greatest moments of that game with the flashbacks, especially the whole... the museum with the dinosaurs and Ellie's experience of listening to the original NASA tapes and going to space with Joel.
Right.
They were just simply amazing moments. And that game could have been so much more if it had just been Joel and Ellie. Like,
yeah, I kind of think I like your idea where it's like a coming of story.
Yeah, maybe have Abby come into it 3/4 of the way through the game. Like, you don't know this woman, like, you've got hints that there's somebody hunting you, like, there's somebody looking for you, you're getting notions and hints throughout the world. And 3/4 through the game, you meet up with him, she finds out who Joel is, maybe kills Joel because of that. Ellie's left in a situation where she's now finally alone. Like, they could have done so much more with that story. So much more. Instead of just forcing this out, like, okay, you've played halfway through the game, we're now going to completely remove you from the experience that you were having, and we're going to put you with somebody who you entirely cannot relate with because you've never met her before.
Right. I could see that.
And, you know? And
normally, Sophie, I play through everything. Sophie was just asking, how do we play like when we play it?
That's the last time I go chasing
Well,
rabbits,
if you're going to play it the way we play it, I wouldn't advise doing it with Valhalla. I got 100 hours into it and I stopped playing because I'm bored to tears.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely have had to take a break.
Yep, I gotta agree with Kamikaze. Ghost was the game of the year for him. Last of Us 2 was a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I agree, it's a 7 out of 10. See, I wasn't so upset about them killing Joel. You know, like
it was going to happen.
Yeah,
we knew the second Last of Us game was going to have Joel's death. The problem was they forced it, and they did it in such a way that it didn't need to be done.
Yeah, it was kind of, you know, like let's do this just to do this. I felt that the game was way too long. Like by the time I got done with Abby, I was like, okay, this game is over now, right? They just go their separate way, and then I'm playing as Ellie some more, and then, you know, like, she gets emotional, she has to go and kill what's her name? I was just like, what is this?
For me, I thought the game was going to end. See, when Ellie and the girlfriend get back to their little ranch, and you're doing that bit with the baby, and you're walking about the farm, and you're sitting on the tractor, and then you have the freak out in the barn.
Right.
That would have been a perfect point to stop the game.
I agree. Save the rest of that for the third game.
Yeah, but instead they decided to essentially cram The Last of Us 3 into a 2-hour segment where you go after Abby. And your entire revenge story essentially comes down to, oh shit, I saw Joel while I was beating the shit out of you. I'm now going to sit here with no fingers and cry and let you just walk away.
Yeah, it was like crazy. Like in the end, like, you know, she had to get her revenge, and in the end she lost everything. So what did you really gain? What was the point of it?
And then look at Jin Sakai. Jin Sakai got his revenge. He took out the can, but at a price.
Right.
You know, he lost everything, but he accomplished his goal. And when I say that, I mean Assassin kills Templar in the best way an assassin kills a Templar, in a better story than Assassin's Creed. And, okay, I'm going to shut up. Okay, right. it's one of those things, man. It's such a dividing game. It's almost infuriating.
It really was. It really was. And he like you were saying, he lost everything, but it was for his people, so they gained everything.
Yeah,
they gained their freedom.
All of it.
That's why, like, I don't understand. I don't understand, like, how we got to, you know, like, this game. I kind of feel like, you know, like that. It was like almost like a waste of my time. Like, you know, like, yeah. I went through the experience. I went through the character. I did all this thing. I get to the end. I'm back with my favorite character, the character that I really wanted. You know, yep. Abby, you know, her character development was what it was. I understood her section. I understood, you know, like, in the end, we're all just monsters. And you know, it's really the perspective of what we are that makes us what we are and stuff like that. You know, what really is good or evil. And I got all that.
A question I want to pose to you then. If you look at Abby when you play her in those sections, and then you look at Abby at the end of the game when you're playing as Ellie, and you see her, you know, no muscle, very thin, you know, just looks like essentially just a lassie with a bit of bulk on it. Was that a response to maybe fan feedback? It was like, right, look, well, we had like The Last of Us 3 like planned here, and we were going to go a different route with Abby, but people don't seem, taking to her. We have to throw in maybe this 2-hour segment, bulk her down instead of bulking her up, and have these moments with Ellie. Do you think it was one of those things where maybe Naughty Dog was just like, yeah, fuck shit?
See, I don't know. I think that they threw that in there as like, okay, she lost everything, but she's still the hero because she didn't kill this girl. But, like they threw in too many things. Like I mean, way too many things came at you. Introduce me to Abby, show me Abby's side of the story, right? Then end the game there, like you said, right? Last of Us 3, give me a dual story where you do the same thing. You show me Ellie's side of the story where maybe Ellie is still looking for revenge. You have Abby's side of the story where Abby is in trouble. And then, and that point would have been a good point to introduce the little, the girl who identified as like a boy rather than a girl.
Yeah,
they threw that in there. They threw all this SJW stuff at you all at once. Yeah. I don't care that Abby was Cog Diesel. I really don't.
See, this is the thing. I don't care for Abby either. And it's not because she is what she is or is what she isn't. It's just because she was a fucking boring character, okay? It really was. I mean, Lev and his sister were more exciting than Abby.
Yeah, they really should have fleshed her out a lot more, and I don't think if you could have done that all in like this game.
And it's also that thing. It's like, how do you expect the player to even want to relate to this character after she beats to death the one character that's actually making you come back to the game?
That's true.
Like it really genuinely is one of those things. And I like, for me, like, if they're going to do a Last of Us 3, like, okay, if you want to continue Abby's story, then, really think it through this time, do it justice. But if you want to do a Last of Us Part 3, then I want to go all the way back to the beginning, at the beginning of the Outbreak, and I want a Joel and a Tommy story. Leading up to the events that happen. Tommy's, experience going through the Fireflies, Joel splitting up and going his separate ways, and up to that point where he's in a position to meet up with Ellie. That's interesting to me. Yeah, that shows me a part of the Outbreak and a time in the Outbreak where it's just happened, and they're at their most. That virus is at its most. The majority of the people infected haven't been, murdered, blown up, or anything like that. They're absolute max when it comes to infected. Let me see that story. How did Joel survive that first 20 years? Because a lot happened. Tommy went to the Fireflies. Him and Joel stopped talking, went separate ways. Give me that story.
Yeah, I could have seen that. I could have seen that over like what they did, because it was just some of the things just made no sense. The game, everybody was gay, bisexual, like identified as this or that, the other thing, and I get that. I get like you have a diverse world and stuff like that, but it made no sense. It made no sense for like what the original vision was. It strayed real far, in my opinion. And like I didn't. It's not that I didn't like it because I'm a straight Hispanic male. It's that I didn't like it because I like story. I like structure. I like my game to actually be mind blowing. Like Ghost of Tsushima wasn't just like a macho game and you're chopping heads and you're doing stuff. There was a lot of story. There was a lot of decision making. The dude, he fleshed himself out. He was very torn between what he had to do and what he was supposed to do. It was things like that, and Last of Us 2 just didn't have that. Last of Us 2 was I'm not going to say it was a bad game. When it came out and I started playing it, I did think that it was a contender for Game of the Year, and I stand by that. But I don't think that once I got into Ghost of Tsushima that it should have won Game of the Year.
Yeah. And there's also a very, very, I mean, and I hate to pull this up. There's a reason why Valhalla wasn't nominated for Game of the Year and Odyssey was.
Which was?
Odyssey was a bigger and better game. In all regards. In all regards. Now, Origins never got nominated. When was the last time an Assassin's Creed game got nominated for Game of the Year?
That's true.
If ever. Odyssey did. And Ubisoft turned around to the developers of Valhalla and went, do what you're doing. It blows the mind.
That's what I'm saying. Another thing that like blows my mind is like, you know, like you don't want a long game, but you enjoyed Odyssey's length. I don't really think that it was the XP grind that you enjoy, but it was like, I think the length of the game, the stuff that you had so much to do in that game, and I don't know if like we'll recapture that.
Well, see, here's the thing with Odyssey. Like, people can say it's not a good Assassin's Creed story, and you know what? They're right, it's not. But you do live your own adventure.
That's true.
And Odyssey sold itself on that. Follow your Odyssey. Create your story. And Odyssey really fulfilled that. Because it didn't matter if you played as Cassandra, it didn't matter if you played as Alessio, you could be who you wanted to be. You could be an asshole, a nice person, or an in-between person, all the way through that story. And you could change your mind as to who you wanted to be when you wanted to be. The only downside to Odyssey was it didn't have, like, the Mass Effect rating where you had Renegade and Paragon. That would have been really cool in Odyssey, to be honest.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
You could really focus on that negativity or positivity, but there's very much a reason why Valhalla was not nominated for Game of the Year. It's a downgrade.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that.
It's Origins 1.5.
I'm kind of feeling that.
You know, and it's... I never lost my attention with Odyssey. As bad as an Assassin's Creed story as it is, I enjoyed it as an RPG. I never put it down though. I played it 3 separate times, 600 hours. I get to the 100-hour mark in Valhalla and I'm done. My controller's down and I don't want to continue because I'm bored.
Well, I don't know if it's boredom or if like the glitches really, because you want to progress but you can't progress. You know what I'm saying? And that's what like a lot of people are experiencing. They're getting burnt out because you can't do anything. You know?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I don't know. It's a hard one. They need to find a middle ground.
I think that if the game actually worked, that, you know, like it would do, like right now, for instance, because that one quest won't work, I cannot 100% this file, so I have to start a new file. I've got that time. I'd have to start a new file. I have no interest in continuing like playing really. The only reason that like I'm even playing is to make videos and of course to, you know, like continue, you know, like it's something to do while we're streaming and everything like that. You know, like all I'm doing now is just running around collecting all the points. What happens when I collect everything? I can't go any further.
Yeah, and you can't. It's especially hard because it doesn't matter even if you find new glitches because your mastery only goes so far.
Right.
And I believe that's why this might have been done. It doesn't matter how many glitches people find, there's a limit to what they can use it for or do with it, or...
Yeah, I think that's another thing. I hate being limited. I really do.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
True. Well, with that being said, I think this is a good time to end this. You know, I'm got other things that I got to do. I got a couple of videos that are going to be coming out. You know, thank you to everybody who showed up. What's that?
What I think we need to do is we need to find something that we can both do. Whether that be me taking you through Destiny or a multiplayer game. See something that we can both do at the same time, even if Assassin's Creed gets to that point. But
Right.
even if it's something as silly as Black Flag's multiplayer.
Yeah, we could do something like that. We should have fun doing
You know,
that stuff.
You know, but I think the world this year's gone in such a direction that I think a lot of companies have kind of lost what they were aiming and looking to do.
Right.
You know, the world has changed so quickly in the last couple of years that, you know, if you're in the middle of making a game that takes 5 years, then you've got to change your entire perspective on what the world is looking at and what's acceptable. You know, 2 years into your development.
Right. That's kind of crazy. All right, well, once again, everybody, thank you for stopping by. You had a good time, had a good talk. Learned a lot about a lot of crazy things like Game Awards being freaking rigged and whatnot. But anyway, everybody, we'll see you next week.